advocates whisper in the hall, where justice wears a mask and truth begins to fall. Every thread they pull, every lie they weave, in the courtroom's dance, who's left to believe? Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight. A photograph fades where the truth once stood, blurred lines between the bad and the good. The scales they tilt with every silver tongue, while the broken cry for a song unsung. Black robes sway like shadows on the wall, one wrong word and the mighty fall. Who's a sinner? Who's a saint? The jury's out, but the verdict's faint. Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to know why I'm here today? It's not because I want to give you a pep talk or because I want to make you feel good about yourselves. No, I'm here to tell you the truth.
Hopefully I just unmuted myself, and I have to also look to make sure that my microphone doesn't have a red light on it. It looks like it's a green light. Turn on the red light. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do the green light. Anyways, I bust into old songs because that's what I do. One of the many things I do. This is actually called the Crimes After Dark show. The real crime is that we only have 20 people in here. Come on, people. We got to do better than this. We got a lot of really, really cool guests on this show, and it's going to get better and better. So the real crime will be if we stay small numbers, because this is going to be a really, really cool thing. We've got Robin with me. I'll bring her up in a second. I got Joe from State of the Deep. We're getting the Deep Devils thing going with he and I. Joe and I are heading to Moscow, Idaho very soon. We're both getting pumped and excited for that. We're building out the itinerary. Maybe you can be part of that. I can give you some ideas on how you can be part of that coming up, by the way, as well. So lots of exciting stuff to talk about. What I like to do when we're doing a daily show, like we're going to start doing this daily show, is I'm just going to go through the news highlights for the day on things that caught my attention. So it won't be the deep dives that I normally do, those long form videos, like when I break down a legal document or I go over a report or something that pissed me off and made me rage for an hour and 20 minutes, like I did on the whole, the Kopackas don't come from Pennsylvania thing. Those kind of things are still going to happen, but this nightly show is going to be what caught my eye in the news today. So it may not be as in depth, but it will be a little bit more interactive. We'll play some videos. I got some videos queued up for tonight as well. Got some articles to read. And then of course we have panel guests that come on and they talk to me about the crime cases that we have. I'm going to bring up my co-producer of the show, if you will, which is Robin. I'm going to bring Robin up on stage, and there's Robin. Perfect. And let's make sure she's unmuted so she can say something. All right,
well,
Robin.
hello, everyone. I can.
Hey, welcome. Perfect. By the way, for those who are in there, I'm going to go through some of the names that are in here to say hi to some people and greet some people. But if you could please be willing to share where you're calling in from or where you're watching from, whatever you want to call it, that would be super cool. I love to have people tell me where they're coming in from, because it's always a reminder that this is an international show, but we got also people from all over the United States. Super cool. Also, I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to put up a now, depending on how the show goes, we have panel members that are coming on more and more. But if we don't have a full panel going, like 5 people or 4 people, 4 to 5 people is where I think we don't want to add anybody new. But if you've been watching this show for a while and you're starting to work up the nerve to come on with me, by the way, I posted a link in there. That's the Backyard StreamYard link. If you wanted to sign yourself up and you're brave enough to come on camera or microphone, go ahead and put yourself in the queue, and I'll bring you up at some point. Or I'll tell you it's not going to happen if we just can't work you in. Crime Spy 2024 was the first one in here at 10:17 a.m. I had a scheduled live for 6 o'clock, and they were in here at 10:17. So Crime Spy may not even be here, by the way, but they said they loved my videos and a keen sense of humor. So thanks for stopping in. I hope you're still here. Essie in the house as usual, and very, very early with the 201 check-in. That was cool. And then Estes Crime Maze, who isn't backstage yet, but I expect Estes Crime Maze will be here. We were joking about Estes Crime Maze. Everything with Estes Crime Maze is a WITSEC operation extraction removal thing. And that's okay, because he'll make a really good argument for why that's the case. And he'll question, why do we not see this? Why do we not see that? I'm not sure anything really happened here. It could be a gigantic psyop. You're going to hear a lot of that when I have Jason Estes on the show. And it's a great complement to some of the things that I talk about on the show. So hopefully you appreciate those different perspectives and get to see that as well. I just heard somebody pop in the backstage area. So that's Estes Crime Maze. I just talk shit about Estes and then he shows up. That's how you do it. When you summon people by talking shit about them, and then they show up. Let me get through the introductions for Joe and Jason, who are backstage, and then I'll get a thumbs up from you that you're ready to come up, and we'll bring you up. And Robin, if you see anything that I need to get attention to that I miss, let me know. But let me go work through some of these hellos and greetings. You got Penny from Idaho, right? Silence Unchained is a new name that I don't recall seeing in here, although they said they like my show, so maybe they've been here before. So I apologize if I haven't seen you, or this is like the 3rd time maybe I've told you I hadn't seen you before. That would be horrible. We'll try to always remember the names. By the way, again, as I always say, if we have somebody brand new to the show and they've only been here once, or this is your first live you're catching, please let us know, because we like to make you a primary focus. And so if you have a question, we want to give you a shot, because that's the whole reason for the lives, is for you to be able to have real-time interaction. So if you're here for the first time or whatever, please let us know that you, so we can pay attention to that and get your question answered live and in color. Brandy J, let's go. Thanks for that. That was even 1 minute before the show got started. So hopefully she's still here as well. Robin Slayton, love the intro. Thank you very much. And I'm working down the list. I know eventually you're going to start telling me locations, because I saw that. Jesse Young said, how about Hunter's bloody knuckles from Kaylee? I need to put that on screen. How about, I did earlier. How about Hunter's bloody knuckles with Kaylee's blood? He never went upstairs from what he said. Just food for thought. Hope everyone is having an amazing day out there. Let's talk about that a little bit tonight. I think we can talk about that. One also, who is our law enforcement advisor, NYPD officer on the down low, incognito, because we're not going to give his real name so that you don't get the impression that he represents NYPD. He just happens to love the show and is a supporter. He's backstage as well. So we have a full panel right now. So earlier when I said, if you want to come up on screen, it probably will have to hold off until we have a panel guest or so drop, just because too many people on screen would be nuts. And we kind of are doing a panel format, but when there's room, I want to bring up other people as well. So take that for a grain of salt. We'll try to work that in as well. Tell us what says, good evening, DA, right? Good evening, friends, NDA. Welcome to the show. And Amanda B is, of course, a normal. I don't know if I called you out already. Nicola. I'm going to do that every single time, because you haven't corrected me on the pronunciation yet. So I'm just going to keep struggling with it. Hey, DA in the den. Whether we call our chat affectionately the Devil's Den. I know it's not catching on as much, but if you hear people say the den, that's what they're talking about. They call it the Devil's Den. It was kind of our affectionate name for the chat. Do I ever take a breath? God, Robin. I need to take a drop every once in a while.
Rarely, but
Anyway,
that's okay. That's why we love you.
Clearly, I need to take a so what else do we got? We got Estes Crime Maze saying hello. He's backstage. Cheryl Fitzgerald from Florida. I happen to know that. Welcome this evening. Let's see. We're working down the list. We're going to get to the bottom, and then I'll bring our guests up. Molly Bledsoe. So hey, DA, welcome to the house. Thank you so much. I've seen that name before, so welcome back again. Thank you. Kentucky. Molly's from Kentucky. Thank you. See, this is where and PA, Pennsylvania. See, this must be where I said, hey, tell me where you're coming from. Scotland. Nicola from Scotland. Lilith Claymore from where is that from? Orting, Washington. See, I'm a Washingtonian. Where the hell is Orting? I need another location near Orting. I don't remember where Orting's at. West Virginia, Amanda Bees from West Virginia. I won't do the Birdie thing. West Virginia. Okay, just did. Anyways, Birdie always has to do that tone when he does West Virginia. I get it. Let's see, what else do we have? Canada, Estes Crime Museum from Canada. 1111, welcome to the coming back to the show. She's a regular as well. Echo Blue from Northern Michigan. I was in Michigan. Was I in more? I was in a place called Berrien Springs, Michigan, which was down on the southern end of it by Lake Michigan. I was there for a short period of time. Brandy, the SIP.
Mississippi.
Anyways, I know. Oh, the Mississippi. I'm sorry. I'm so old. I'm so fucking old. All right. So I didn't get the acronym. So Tom Rosland from Norway. Wow, from Norway. Hey, greetings from Norway. I don't even have a neat little how do you greet somebody in Norway? I gotta get that down. That's very cool. We got Molly from Kentucky. I think we already mentioned that earlier. We got somebody from England here, Carol Swan from England. Welcome. Thank you for checking in. It's cool international group again. Favorite three: POV, Master Nation, and UDA, says Lilith Claymore. Thank you so much. That is good company. I don't know Master Nature's channel, so I can't say for sure that's a good company, but I know POV, of course, and DA being anywhere in the same sentence with DA, or with Pavarotti with DA. Being in the same sentence with DA is a really good feather in my cap. Anyways, with Pavarotti, welcome as well. Thank you so much. And some people saying hi to 11. We're getting down to the bottom of the list, so I can bring my guests up so they can stop hanging out and waiting for me to get through all the hellos. Penny, I already said hi again. Jules, hi DA, says Jules, and to the chat as well. And Molly from England. I think we got that earlier. Are we getting to the end? I think
Mama J's here.
Washington. Brandy J. Brandy J says Washington State's so beautiful. Yes, Mama J is in the house. I didn't see that. Oh, there it is, right there. Evening Lee, mods and chat from Mama J. Welcome as well. And Satire. I made it to a live. So Satire, if you have any personal question that you want to ask or anything is burning, this is a great time to do it. If you made it to a live, we want to accentuate people who are first time live people. Let's go ahead and bring up my guests. Robin, from this point forward, because I'm bringing my guests up, maybe pay attention to that chat for me and make sure I don't miss anything major. And I will try to hide comments for the moment, but make sure if something happens, you draw my attention to it. Let's go ahead and bring up. I think we got 3 guests now. Let's add, there's Joe. Joe from State of the Deep Devils. How you doing tonight, Joe?
I'm good. How you guys doing? Hello, everybody. Hello, Den.
Living the dream. You sound so mellow. You sound so melancholy. You're like, hello, how you doing? Just got done smoking a blunt. You guys do things different in Denver, actually.
If I have to.
Oh, that's the opposite direction. I thought you were going with that. But no, welcome to the show. It's good to see you as always. I know that I get a lot of feedback, man, when you're on the show. A lot of people say, man, that guy is wicked smart. He's a great part of this panel because that guy's a smart dude. I know that we have people fool Joe. You're like, hey, I'm not a professor or anything like that. I'm just a dude. I'm not all that smart. But you know what? You've got people baffled, and that's a super cool thing. Let's go ahead and bring up Jason Estes from Estes Crime Maze. And hey, look, we've got, and I caught him was sitting down. I didn't even give him a warning. We're going live. But how you doing tonight, Jason? How you doing?
Excellent, thank you, and I appreciate you having me on, and Joe, and everybody, and Robin. And am I finally landscape a little bit here?
I was gonna say you got the landscape shit figured out off the hook.
Awesome,
amazing.
The next step will be building my own studio like you. Congratulations, man.
Yeah. Well, baby steps, sir. And by the way, for Estes Crime Maze, for those who don't know, I feel like when I think I met Estes Crime Maze when he was in the 200-ish subscriber list. Now he's pushing 700. He's very, very close to becoming monetized on a channel. I think the guy deserves it. He's got a big personality. He's a really nice guy. And so give him a shot, give him a subscribe and watch and check him out so he can push him over that 1,000 limit. And you can say that I helped get him there. And I'd love to see him push over that thing. And like people did that for me when I was a small channel. They would call me out, and I want to do the same for Jason Essie. So make sure you check him out. I think you're going to dig his vibe. And so welcome tonight, Jason.
Thank you very much. You got a hell of a great soul for being a devil's advocates. Thank you, Lee. Appreciate it.
for being a devil.
Second that.
And then we've got 1-1. 1-1 again. He's our incognito NYPD officer. It was funny. If I don't tell this story all that often, when he first came on and he said he was NYPD, I thought, why would an NYPD guy watch my show? I literally say, hi, I'm the Devil's Advocates. I'm critical of mainstream media, law enforcement, and the judicial system. And I'm like, why would law enforcement? You know what? He convinced me. You know what? Good cops don't like bad cops either. And so we had a big talk about that. He's a big supporter of the show. He believes in the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. He's one of those kind of guys who will tell you, you can call me all kinds of names. You could treat me like shit, and I'm still going to protect you if that, because that's my job, and I don't take shit too personally, kind of thing. So 1-1, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us as always. Make sure you have your mic working. Are you good to go?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm good to go. Hello, everyone. Hi, Etsy. Hi, JJ. Good evening, Robin. Hi, DA. How does it feel to be on a Wednesday night on the Den? I got my Sam Adams Oktoberfest. I got my coffee.
Nice.
I got my Black Swan Hoya Nicaraguan cigar going. I'm ready to go.
You
Let's fire it up.
You are a cigar aficionado, I tell you.
Woo woo.
Yeah, it's my bread. I'm a little upset. I kind of miss JJ's pop outfit from yesterday. He's got a little more of a Clark Kent thing going.
Well, it's funny because I don't have a thing against cigars, but I think the only times I've actually smoked cigars is at some kind of event, like a wedding or whatever, where the guys were sitting around and somebody's handing out a cigar, and then I have to fuck myself through it because I'm like, I don't know how to trim a cigar or light a cigar. I can puff on it once you got it lit for me, but that's about it. And then I couldn't tell you, like someone will ask me, like, what's your favorite cigar? And I'm like, shit, I couldn't tell you the difference between a $2 cigar and a $200 cigar. So do not waste money on a good cigar with me because I won't be able to understand the differences. I'm just not an aficionado of it. But I used to have a friend that used to have a humidor and had the whole 9 yards, and he would try to educate me on cigars, and it just I was like, man, it seems like it's a real thing, but I haven't.
It is. Oh, it is.
Anyways,
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is a thing. So I want to talk to you guys about the what I got on tap for tonight. I'm going to pull up some slides on screen. That's not a slide. First of all, we're going to remove, and we're going to add this to the screen. We're going to remove this from the screen. All right, there's my slides. So what I want to talk to you guys about real quick is I don't know if you saw, I sent some show notes for the first time tonight to kind of give you an idea what we're going to talk about. I do have some very specific topics I'd like to hit tonight. As always, Idaho 4 seems to be the topic of interest. I don't want to spend a terrible amount of time on Idaho 4. However, I don't know if you know, Brian Coberger was back in court today. We had a hearing on again on the restitution issue. And so new things got said. And as usual, I pick up things that other people don't pick up. And I thought there was something that I really, really want to get your guys' opinion on. Tell me if I'm crazy, if I'm making too much out of what Hitler didn't say. And I'm going to show that to you on screen in just a minute. We're going to talk about Tyler Robinson a little bit. Controversial issue on the Charlie Kirk situation, because I want to talk about Amanda Kirk and some of the responses that people are having, the inappropriate hug of J.D. Vance, the lip reader that now tells us what it was that Erica said to J.D. Vance when they hugged, and some of the responses of mainstream media shaming anyone who attacks Erica Kirk. I want to talk about this in part because I want to talk about how it's funny that mainstream media tells you that they can talk about the case all they want, all day long, every day, and twice on Sunday. Yes, I use that phrase a whole lot. But we should all be ashamed if we talk about the case, because they're going to tell us what we're allowed to talk about and what we're not allowed to talk about, which pisses me off, and I will call it out every time. So I'm going to show you another hit piece where they shame anyone talking about Erica or asking any questions about whether or not her words and her stuff are consistent with what her husband would have wanted, what her husband said. We're going to talk a little bit about that if you guys are okay with it, and I want to get your opinions on that. Got a little bit of Mickey Steins as well, the sheriff that who shot the judge in his judge's chambers. I'm going to show actually tonight. I'm going to show the video clip of the shooting. It will be blurred out when he pulls his gun, so you won't see the shooting. However, this is a Crimes After Dark, and I am willing to show the actual shooting. It doesn't have audio, so I mean there is one clip that we could find with audio, but I'm not going to play that. But I can show the actual shooting if you guys have. I wouldn't say you need to have a strong stomach, but some people don't want to see that. So I'll show first. I will show the one that's kind of redacted, because the part that I want to focus on is what happens right before the shooting. The phone call to the daughter. That part I want to focus on, and I want to talk about his daughter's response and some of those things. So those are the three big things. That's three big things. Now I've got other cases. I got Luigi Manjone. I do have a slide or two about Luigi in here as well. And Rex Heuermann, I think, is going to take a back seat tonight. I don't have anything really great to say in the Rex Heuermann case. So those are the 5 cases I cover. We're going to talk Idaho 4. We're going to talk Charlie Kirk. We're going to talk Mickey Steins. We're going to talk a little bit of Luigi. And we'll just kind of table Rex Heuermann. You guys okay with that lineup? Or is there any, or do you want to lobby for a certain thing to be said first so that you can cut out because you have nothing to say about one of the other cases? What do you guys say about my lineup?
I like it.
No.
That's
Yeah,
fine
all
with
good.
me.
All good.
Everybody's all on tap, all on board. Let's go. All right, so let's start. We're going to start with Coberger, and I hesitantly do that because, again, once we start on Coberger, it seems like we never get off of Coberger. But just as a reminder, we're trying to do these lives nightly at 6 o'clock. Yeah, there's just so much to talk about a case that's over, right? Idaho 4 is over. Why are you still talking about it? Why is Joe and Lee going to fucking Moscow, Idaho? Like the case is still going. It's over. I get it, but we're going to talk about that.
You guys are going to solve it. You're going to solve it.
We're going to break this case. We're going to break this case, or at least we're
That's
going to
right.
get some damn good footage, and we're going to have some shit to talk about. I'll promise you that. So we got that coming up, and I want to tell you one thing real quick. We have agreed. I probably cannot be here every single night, but I want to commit to doing a regular thing so that you guys can count on me, so that we can get people to know when it's 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, DA is on. And so if I can't make it, we've already agreed that Robin and or others of my panel that you see here will likely come on with or without me and carry the show. So Jason Estes, for example, how he would run the show if he was, well, he's going to run my show. So you're still representing my brand, sir. But anyways, Joe, State of the Deep as well. He's going to be launching the State of the Deep channel on YouTube. He'll get some practice or whatever. So I'm just letting you know the show we're going to try to stay consistent with. Whether or not I can make every show, I plan on making 90% of them or more. So don't worry. I'm going to be here a lot if you want to see me. But the show will go on is the plan, with or without me. So if you see that happening, that might be the case. And even, by the way, I don't reserve the impossibility that if I'm taking the night off and somebody's running my show, that I'm going to drop in on my own show and go, hey, what the hell's going on with you guys? What are you guys doing to my show while I'm gone?
I admire your stellar dedication, DA. We admire your stellar dedication.
So as you probably all know, if you follow my channel, believes in the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. And the devil's advocates theme is I played the devil's advocates with the mainstream narrative. So when the mainstream narrative tells us this is exactly what happened and here's how you should feel about it, I start to get an icky feeling inside and go, don't fucking tell me how I should feel about it. What if it happened like this? The more you tell me how I should feel about it, the more the warning bells go off of maybe I should think about it another way, because you're telling me so much. You're so invested in making sure I know how I should feel about it, then maybe I should ask a different question. So that's when I start playing devil's advocates. Here's the stories that I'm playing devil's advocates with the most. Idaho 4, Brian Coberger, Tyler Robinson. We should call it the Charlie Kirk show because Charlie Kirk is the much bigger name. However, more and more people are understanding that Tyler Robinson is the person that is accused. Remember, in all of these cases, with the possible exception of Brian Coberger, are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Now, I say Brian Coberger is not because Brian Coberger obviously pled guilty to those charges. So we can't necessarily say he has the presumption of innocence anymore. He actually said he's guilty. But you know what? I got a slide and I got some questions for you guys to say, Did we miss something? I got a question for you. Maybe I'm making something out of nothing. Luigi Manjone, the alleged shooter, again, the alleged shooter in the Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare in the downtown Manhattan area, where he shot the CEO right outside of an investor conference. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Rex Kierman, the Long Island serial killer. 1-1 and I drove around Gilgo Beach looking for dumping areas for the body in our trunk. We couldn't find great place, but Rex had the best spot. So we did agree about that. And if you haven't seen my show enough to know what we're talking about, I've got a video where 1-1 and I actually drive that route and talk about why that location was picked and whether or not we agree that that was a good location if you were going to dump a body on Long Island. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Mickey Stein's as well. So those are the cases to cover. Let's go with Brian Coberger right off the bat. And I know I'm talking a lot for you guys, so I'm going to try to give you guys space to talk. There was a restitution hearing today. I'm going to bring this up on screen by hopefully doing this right. Let's go. Is it uno momento, por favor? Well, you know what I should do? Maybe I should just click on this and it will take me there. Nope, it's not the way to go. Stand by. I mean, it is the way to go, but that's not the way I wanted to go. I will get my shit together. There we go. All right, so you guys see this on screen? Yes?
Yep.
You guys see that on screen? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know whether to leave us off to the side here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the chat out of the area here, and so that it's not covering the screen. Brian Coberger's restitution hearing ends with no decision, but prosecutor admits a slip up. This is dated November 5th, 2025. Last I checked, that's today. Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson admitted to a major miscalculation in what the University of Idaho victims' families should be owed in restitution, telling a judge Wednesday that he would no longer be seeking the roughly $27,000 in travel expenses that were not outlined in Brian Coberger's plea deal, and asking the court to award about 1/10 of the funeral expenses instead. Coberger's lawyers noted that the travel expenses were not part of the plea deal after Thompson mistakenly thought that it would cover it'd be covered by the victim's compensation fund, and agreed that the funeral expenses amount of $3,000. However, they argued that Coberger still shouldn't have to pay that, basically is what they're saying. Judge Stephen Hippler grilled attorney Alyssa Massoff for Coberger about the terms of the deal and why Coberger shouldn't have to live up to them. He ended the hearing without issuing a decision, which is expected to come later in writing. The judge also revealed that Coberger had already received 5-figure donations from jail funds. Massoff claimed that it was mostly for communication purposes, although the cost of sending a message to Coberger's former jail is just a few cents at a time. One of the things I wanted to point out is there were several comments and here it is again. However, also was rejected claims from the defense that Coberger has no potential future income. There was an unspecified 5-figure donation, he said, and Coberger or a relative could potentially profit off the story in a movie, book, or book deal. Now, I'm going to read more of this article, but the first thing I want to ask you is, are you guys surprised? They say in several different articles that people on social media have admitted to sending money to Brian Coberger. It may be women, they said in one of these articles, and I don't remember if I highlighted it or not. Do you guys find anything odd with the Brian Coberger's an incel who can't get laid and is horrible with women, and the idea that women are sending Brian Coberger money because they're fangirls? I just want to get your kind of thoughts on that.
I don't think it's unusual because it happens with every convicted, high-profile murderer, that's in every case, right? If it's a high-profile case, a serial killer, you always hear about that. Women in love with them, sending them marriage proposals while they're in prison and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Shit, I might have to go to jail soon.
Well, it will improve your odds, sir. I mean, you can only arrange so many conjugal visits, so you might be in trouble with that. Well, I have to ask you though, what do you think about a single donor in the area of 5,000? Here's what I find odd. One of the things they pointed out is the prosecution is hiding or asking to gag order the list of who the donors are. Do you find there's anything weird about that the prosecution doesn't even want you to see who's sending money to Brian Coberger?
I think that's weird, but I think, in my opinion, any money that's supposedly going to Brian Coberger, you know what I'm about to say, it's going to the feds, somebody else. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. And And I, by the way, I wanted to highlight a comment because I don't know if Kathy is upset with us or not, but I want to take a moment to at least address it. She said something was, wow, very insulting, misogynistic. I don't know if you mean our comments that we just had. If you felt it was our comments, I apologize for that. I don't know exactly how you took that. And maybe that wasn't what you were saying, but just about to be sure if you thought that was misogynistic talk, I apologize for that. And maybe we need to clarify that. But
and Kathy, I apologize as well. It was just light humor. You know, this happens in jail, as DA brought up, that these guys, some of these prisoners, are getting a hell of a lot of action in jail. And anyway.
So I want to continue on with this, with the whole money thing, because this was I thought was super interesting for discussion point. But the real kicker is going to be in the next article about the same event, which is what Hitler said. But I want to do one more comment here. Continuing with the article, however, he also rejected claims from the defense that Coberger had no potential future income. There was the unspecified 5-figure donation. And so he says, Coberger or a relative could potentially profit off of a story in a movie, book, or TV deal. Massoff countered and said there's no way BK is ever going to profit off of any sort of movie or book because Idaho specifically precludes that. So a lot of states have the rule that says you can't profit off of your murders. You can't sell a book deal, a movie deal, whatever, and make money off of the fact that you committed a horrendous crime. And so the judge, who apparently Judge Hitler doesn't know the law on the case, is saying, I think Coberger could profit off this, and the attorney says, no, he can't. That's Idaho law. He can't profit off it. I find that's weird. And then, so the counter was, if there's no debt for those certain things, does the money then go to the defendant? Judge Hitler asked. So the judge is saying, okay, so there's restitution that's owed to the families, but if there's no restitution left owing, does anything that Coberger earns above and beyond the restitution that needs to be paid back to the family then go to him as profit? And I find it odd that the judge is asking for a clarification of the law. Now, granted, he's going to go and he's going to check this out. This is why, for those who want to know what's happening here, this is why Hitler didn't make a ruling, because Hitler needs to go look this up and make sure about the rule. Can Coberger make money off of a book deal or a movie deal? Which, by the way, there is a movie coming out on Idaho 4. Did you know there was a movie already coming out on Idaho 4? Where they're going to show, of course.
On I think on Lifetime, right? I think on Lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Are you in it, DA?
Shit, I'm not in that movie. I'm not in that
fuck,
movie.
You should be.
I think
Robin,
so.
you got to get him in the next movie.
They will be on November 12th, 13th.
I got a really
Might be on
working for
TV.
you. Why the hell am I not in that movie? You guys need to work your ass off and get me in that movie.
Yeah.
All right. So anyways, there's a back and forth between the judge where the judge is saying, hey, can't Coberger make money off the book if all the restitution's been paid and he earns more? And the defense for Coberger says, that's not my reading of the code, Massoff said. And so essentially Judge Hitler is going to go review the law. His defense had previously said that he shouldn't have to pay up since the victims' families received money from a GoFundMe fund. Prosecutors, however, countered that he has a history of receiving compensation from his family, unidentified third parties while behind bars, money that they said should go towards the victims' families. At issue is roughly $27,000 to be split between the parents of Kaylee Gonzalez and the mother of Maddie Mogan. Now, by the way, each family, I think, was allowed to have up to $30,000 in compensation for funeral expenses and travel expenses. And so the $27,000 we're talking about here seems to be specifically for Kaylee Gonzalez and Maddie Mogan. There's other money that's on the table. Just wanted to kind of share that with you. But here's the kicker. Here's the one that I really thought was interesting. Coberger's defense claims that he lacks funds for the deal. Coberger collected tens of thousands of dollars from his backers and his family. The judge said, what's the point of a plea deal agreement if you're not going to be bound by it? He then asked if Coberger's defense had agreed to the payment only to avoid the death penalty, while at the same time knowing that he could not pay it. Now, I want to stop right there. How many people in America say, no one pleads guilty to something they didn't do? And when I countered that some people will plead guilty just because they don't want to be executed and they feel that they're not going to get a fair trial, and so they want to save their life. When Hitler says, and he asks them the question, did Hitler agree to this plea deal just so he wouldn't get executed? Isn't that what I've been fucking saying the whole time? People are like, people don't do that, sir. That's what Hitler's literally saying. So you guys wrote into the plea deal that he had to pay restitution. Now you don't want to play the restitution. Did you just agree to the restitution part because you didn't want to get your client executed? That's literally what he's saying. I find that interesting. Am I the only one that's kind of finding that interesting?
Oh no,
it is. It's very, yeah.
What
I mean,
what I also found interesting was that one of the urns got cracked or whatever. Somebody dropped it, and they're expecting him to pay for a replacement one. What?
yeah, right. I like I said, the thing that bugs me so much is I've tried to explain to people before. The plea deal, when they make a plea deal, you must agree to every part of the plea deal. I want to cover this again. I told you I was going to not spend all night long on Coberger, and shit, here I go. When you agree to the plea deal, you need to agree to every part of the plea deal without reservation, which is why there was a really odd moment. If you recall, by the way, I was in the courtroom. I was in the courtroom for the plea deal. And I saw it. I think it was on TV. You could have all seen it as well, but it was palpable what happened when Hitler was asking all the checkoff lists. Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Yes. Does anybody forcing you to plead guilty to this? No. And he's going through the checklist. All of those things must be answered in the affirmative without reservation, or the deal's off the table, which is part of the reason why Hitler is saying here, did you only agree to the restitution because you didn't want us to kill you? Which I find is really fucking weird. But then he says, Hitler said, and he literally couldn't stop from smiling because he knew it was an asinine thing to say to Ann Taylor. And did you have plenty of time to review all the discovery in this case? And he couldn't even keep a straight face, people. The judge literally was almost laughing because he knew Ann Taylor just told him the day before, we haven't had enough time to review all the discovery in this case. There's a monumental amount of discovery. We are not prepared for trial. She just told him that practically the day before. And Hitler says, have you had plenty of time to review the discovery? And he's smiling because he knows what her answer is. Ann Taylor paused, rolled her eyes, and said, yes, Your Honor, we've had time to review the discovery. That moment told everything. You have to understand, they must agree to every single part of the plea deal or it's off the table. So it was,
Right.
It was a joke. It was an inside joke.
Yeah.
They know that Coberger was pleading guilty, not because necessarily he really was guilty, but because they agreed to a plea deal, and you must agree to everything, including the statement, did you do this because, are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Yes. That's a requirement of the plea deal. The plea deal's off if you don't say those words.
Well, I think it's, doesn't that sound like part of a show trial? Or show hearings, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Playing it up on the public, laughing in front of our faces, in my opinion.
I tend to agree with that.
Yeah.
Good. It's a joke.
So I felt it was just, again, I want to kind of be a little briefer on Idaho 4, but I know that other things are happening on Idaho 4. So I'm going to give us a little bit of space. Let me pull us up on the screen, get this off the screen for a minute before we move. We're going to move away from Idaho 4 in a minute, but I know some of you are watching recent videos with, is it Jenna McClure? Is that one of the ones that came out? There's all these.
Well, the big one that everybody's probably chomping at the bit for is the Dylan Mortensen interview that came out.
Oh, yes. I heard a little bit I heard her voice on that a little bit.
Yeah, I watched it.
There is that.
You guys want to share what your thoughts?
What's that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I watched it, and there's so many things in there that it's just crazy. Like the one of the whole video, the one thing I'd like to get other people's opinion on this that jumped out at me is when they brought up the DNA, and when it came up, like the part that everybody knows about where Dylan says, oh, well, I don't know if you're going to be able to find DNA because we did like a deep clean of the house on Friday because of a party. When the woman said, like we did get some DNA, or I don't know, I can't recall off the top of my head the exact words. Dylan was like, you did? Like, she seemed surprised. Like, when they said that they were able to get some DNA. Like, it was very noticeable. And that was the main thing that jumped out at me. And some of the other things, I mean, it's crazy to me. Like, she was never even questioned or pushed about the 8-hour delay. They didn't even say, like, well, what, it was so contradictory, the things she said. So the two main things that stuck out to me were the DNA thing that they brought up in that interview, and Dylan saying how, oh, nothing ever happens in Moscow. I didn't think anything of it. But yet she was so scared. She literally texted Bethany, I'm scared, that she had to run down to Bethany's room. So she's contradicting herself all over the place in that. I mean, it's one you really have to watch.
Yeah, it's pretty
Thanks for
good.
the update.
Another big thing going on.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say big. It seems like there's something there every day. So a few
Right.
weeks ago, they had Emma. I don't know what her. I don't know how to. What is it? Whatever her last name is. The one that was.
Emily Alon.
Yeah, Emily. Right. The one that's with Hunter Johnson. So if you watch the interview with Emily, I watched it. I felt she seemed pretty sincere in the interview. I felt she was telling the truth. Now the detective that interviewed Emily is not the same officer or detective that interviewed Dylan or Bethany. So, that's a shame. It seemed like that officer seemed a little bit better in some of his questions. So one of the big things that people are talking about now, it has to do with Hunter Johnson and the knife. So watching the body cameras and everything. So we clearly know when the officers go on scene, there's no knife on the table, in the living room area, I believe. So they did an interview with Emma, and they also did the interview with Hunter Johnson. So if you compare the two interviews and then you look at the document that has come out that basically describes they took a swap. So the knife was placed on the table later on, I guess the Hunter, there's no video of him placing it there, but I assume he's the one that put it there. There's blood that's over there. They have tested the swabs of blood that were underneath that knife, and it's not mixed. It only goes back to Kaylee. So now, why is this kind of a big deal? If you watch Hunter's interview, he says that he clearly says it's not, there's no, are we misinterpreting? He clearly says that he took a knife from the kitchen drawer, and then he went and he checked on Ethan and he checked on Xana. Well, we have a problem. We have a problem there just in that statement alone. Then you watch the interview with Emma, and she says that she went into the house. So she came over in the morning. I don't remember exactly the time. She came over there with Hunter, and she was one of the people that was going, up. I guess they were behind Hunter in the house, from what they said. Yeah, it could be, they could be contriving a story or whatever, but that's what she said. She claims that there was a knife that could be seen from on the stairs at the very top of the third floor. There was a knife up there. Well, when the cops go through on the body camera, there's no knife that's up there. Now that knife does not match the wounds, to the victims. But the issue with the whole thing is, as you can see what I'm saying, why is Hunter saying that the knife is from the kitchen drawer? And he said that he did not go upstairs. He did not he did not check on Kaylee or Maddie. He checked on Ethan and Xana. So if he checked on whoever he checked on, if it's Ethan and Xana or Maddie or Kaylee, he's going to have, you're checking vital signs. He's going to get, would make sense. He would have some blood on his hands or whatnot. Okay, so he checks on Ethan, he checks on Xana. Let's say he gets some blood on his hands. That blood, I guess, transfers somewhat to the knife. He places the knife, he tells the officer what happened. He places the knife down on the table. Well, shouldn't we find when they I believe it's item number 76 and 77 from the documents. Why is the swab from that blood only goes back to Kaylee and it's not mixed? They know conclusively it goes to Kaylee. So obviously there's a lie here going on. Why even, what's the big deal? Why even lie about it? So there's something else going on,
Couple things I thank you very much for sharing that rundown of the videos, and both of you guys who watched some of these new videos that are out there. I want to say a couple things to the chat and to my moderators so we can understand how to handle things going forward. First of all, I don't mind people disagreeing with me, but please do so respectfully. Don't call people idiots. Don't call people morons. And for certainly, don't come in here and tell people to shut off my stream and go watch Pavarotti. That shit has got to stop. So if you want to watch Pavarotti, you shut my stream off and go watch Pavarotti. Don't come in here and shit on my channel and tell people to quit watching me and go watch Pavarotti. That's not called for. So for my mods, normally I say, you guys can completely disagree with this, but show respect to my panel. Don't call them idiots. Don't call them morons. Don't call them names. And certainly don't tell people to stop watching me and go watch some other content creator. You should leave this show now and go watch your favorite content creator. Enough said of that. Thank you guys for sharing some of those thoughts. Jason, did you have anything that you wanted to add to the Idaho 4 case before we kind of move into the next case a little bit?
Not really. I was listening to 1-1 on the blood. But I would just surmise that they made a mistake, the feds or the prosecution there in court. And yeah, I don't really have anything to add. Sorry. No, other than that.
Fair enough. Sorry for the personal rant if I took the mood down there, but sometimes I get a little sketchy when people do the whole. Have you seen?
No, it's totally understandable, dude.
You can stop your YouTube.
It's understandable.
I'm so like irritated with that. But anyways, Tyler Robinson's case. Now I realize this is where I'm going to watch the numbers. We're at 65 right now. I know that Idaho 4 is still like the biggest thing on people's mind. And yet it's funny how many people tell me right now, the Charlie Kirk assassination is probably the biggest thing that has hit our country for a long time. And yet, let's see if it stays true. Tyler Robinson. Now, here's the part that and of course, we won't know for sure if it's the Tyler Robinson thing or the fact that I'm about to touch sacred ground, which is talking about the Erica Kirk situation and the hospital visit. Now, I wanted to point out a couple things as we're going to lead towards the ending. There's like 3 slides and 3 documents I want to talk about with the Charlie Kirk situation, Erica Kirk in particular. And I want to make sure you know several things. Let me make sure I hit this very, very clearly for you. I am not political. So this isn't about Republican versus Democratic. I am not anti-Christian. So this is not about conservatives versus liberals or about Christianity with that, although we're going to talk a little bit about those issues. But what I want to focus on is a new comment it sounded like this interview is coming out tomorrow night. Like it hasn't aired in full yet. I think a part of it has aired, but not the full thing, if I read it right. So let me pull this up on screen for you. Right. Erica Kirk, do you see it on screen there? I think it is good on screen. All right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Erica Kirk describes seeing her husband Charlie in the hospital immediately after his assassination. This is published today, November 5th. Erica Kirk is recounting the moment that she saw her husband Charlie Kirk in the hospital right after he was shot. Nearly 2 months after the assassination, during the first stop of his American comeback tour in Orem, Utah, Erica has opened up about the surreal moment following the shooting. In an interview with Fox News' Jesse Walters that will air in full on Wednesday evening. So this was today and Wednesday's tomorrow. So I'm thinking it hasn't aired in full yet. Erica grew emotional as she described what her husband looked like while lying in the hospital. Now listen to this. When we walked into the room, he had a smirk on his face. Yeah. Erica said, dabbing her tears from her eyes. That smirk to me is the look of, you thought you could stop what I built. You thought you could end this vision, this movement, this revival. You thought you could do that by murdering me. You got my body, but you didn't get my soul. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Is that for real? Like,
I actually heard her say that on a soundbite. They played it on the news channel. That's exactly what she said.
Boy, I'd love to have
Crazy.
a candlelight dinner with her and pick her brain. She is a piece of work, that one. Unreal.
look,
Yeah.
I'm not trying. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to a person who's grieving, but that shit just seems so over the top.
Mother Teresa wouldn't even do that.
Bullshit.
Like, let's be real.
I'm glad you guys had a similar reaction that I did.
You're 100%. It doesn't. It's for someone who I don't like to comment so much on someone's love for their family and whatever. I'm not in their head or whatnot. But
right.
I don't see. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, you guys can tell me. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm a fool. I don't see really where the grieving process that she has gone. I don't see her grieving really at all.
Yeah, and it's difficult for me because as the old adage goes, everybody grieves differently. So it's
yes,
there's a part of me that doesn't want to jump on the bandwagon of micromanaging and analyzing whether or not she shows what you would think to expect of grieving. But there's another couple of points I want to bring out on this article. So let's pull this back on screen if we can. Charlie was transported to the hospital in critical condition, a Turning Point USA spokesman told the Times. Shortly thereafter, President Donald Trump shared the news. By the way, many people said, and I've questioned this. This is one of those things I should know the answer to as much as I follow this case. He was transported in critical condition. Some people said he was dead as soon as he was shot. He was dead there on the scene. I can understand pronouncing the death at the hospital and not pronouncing it there. So I just want to know, is that because you have to understand, maybe I'm missing something. The implication is Charlie Kirk was still alive and smirking when she came into the hospital, but that's not true because he said, "You murdered me." So like, what condition was Charlie Kirk in if Erica Kirk shows up at the hospital and he's got a smirk on his face? Am I missing something? Like,
she's implying that he was dead, but he had a smirk on his face.
Yeah.
He died with a smirk on his face.
Yeah, that's
it's all the part of the psyop, DA. Remember, it's all about manipulating perceptions, right? This highly charged emotional narrative they want the public, us, to absorb and believe. I believe Erica Kirk. I don't believe her.
It's a goddamn witness extraction cover-up thing, man.
Yes, DA.
Well, one of the things.
Hey, amen, brother. Preach to us.
If any of you guys have followed Candace Owens on this case,
I've been following her.
Yeah, the go-to kind of, because she was close with Charlie Kirk, but
yeah, they were good friends.
Yeah, but she did point out pretty explicitly how they weren't even trying to do first aid on Charlie when he at the scene. So that could either nod to inside job or psyop, right? It could that would be relevant in either case.
Sure.
Because if it was a psyop, obviously, if he's not really dead, you don't need to do first aid on him. But you think they would at least fake it, make it look real.
Yeah.
I mean, every single special forces guy that I've watched online, and one of them in particular was literally a combat medic in the Green Berets.
Wow.
And he said every single person that's trained in trauma, care, which a security team would have to have, military guys would have to have some training in that. Immediately, you would at least put your hand buried into the wound to try to stop the bleeding. And nobody did that at all. So
that's
this is
point.
a big thing.
I'm so glad at least that you guys are a little bit, on the same page with me. Like how off does this whole thing sound, right? And I'm going to bring you through a couple more comments on here and one more article about Erica that really kind of stunned me in a couple things. So here again, I hope that people take this the way it's meant to be. I want to get your input. If you guys think I'm out of control, out of line, slap me back into control. So 2 days after Charlie Kirk's death, Erica made the first public statement about the assassination. In a press conference, she spoke about her husband's work, his legacy, and the future of Turning Point USA. Charlie always said that when he was gone, he wanted to be remembered for his courage and his faith. The following week, Erica stepped in as Turning Point USA's CEO and board chairman. At the time, members of Turning Point board released an open letter on social media noting that in prior discussions, Charlie expressed to multiple executives that this is what he wanted in the event of his death. And again, I just want to make this comment. Is this not the same man? And I'm not busting anyone's balls. I'm just asking for consistency. Is this not the same man who said a woman should be probably at home raising the kids, taking care of the family? We would have more stable homes. Isn't that the kind of thing that Charlie had said publicly several times? And people were saying he was misogynistic because he suggested that
he did.
That strong families
Absolutely.
was his wishes that his right. So was his wishes that in absence of their father, that his mother would then step out of their lives and become a CEO and the chairman of the board and take over and make her whole life about Turning Point USA? Like, where's the kids being? Am I an asshole for asking if this is
a lot of contradictions.
I don't think I don't think he had a choice. He probably didn't have a choice.
I can't believe you would be so disrespectful to the grieving widow, man. I'm so disappointed in you.
I get it, and I get that all the time. I get I'm the asshole for being disrespectful to the grieving widow.
No, as the woman on the panel here, I think it's only, he wanted his wife at home with the kids, and I just find it super ironic that now she's going to be running this whole gig. Can we maybe think that she is a little happy?
She'll be doing that. She'll be doing a lot more than that. This is just the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
I don't know if
I got a question for Estes Crime Maze. I got something for you.
Can't wait.
Oh shit!
Go for it.
Based on your theory, which I'm not opposed to your theory. I've already been explicit about that. Tell me how it plays out, right? Because they have kids together, right? So how does it, because I touched on it yesterday when we were discussing this. I would like to get your take on how you think, what would be more indicative of the PSYOP angle? How do you think it plays out with his wife and whatnot?
Well, I think Ellie, who I did interviews with, was correct that we've never seen the kids' faces. So they'll have, I think Kirk will have plastic surgery wherever he is, and I know it sounds wild, and Erica, I think now that Romanian Angels has come out, her non-for-profit kicked out of Romania. If that's talked about more, I can't see her in a big way going into politics. She's going to be totally exposed, but maybe they think they still have a place for her playing the public over. It should be very, very interesting. I can't wait to see what the next move is, as you say, of the PSYOP, as I've said too. So
yeah,
I hope I answered.
Let me tell you something. Estes. You need to get some long form videos on your channel. In my opinion, you've got this very elaborate thing, and you're sharing bits and pieces on my show, but I'm thinking people want to hear you lay this stuff out. You need to get some videos out there. My appeal to you is to get yourself some videos out there, because I think people would like to hear that, and maybe you're not getting showcased enough on my show. So I'd love to see you put out some extra stuff.
Well, that's a very kind thing to say. Thank you, DA. Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, I'll try to do that. Thanks, man.
You bet.
Thanks for the inspiration, guys.
You bet.
Motivation.
Yeah.
Hey, Robin just
I'm going to show you.
I'm sorry. I was just going to comment on what Robin was saying, something that's pretty important that we have discussed before. I really think people need to consider this more seriously. His wife's family was very connected to the military-industrial complex and intelligence. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So these things, in my opinion, can never be just pushed aside whenever these high-impact, high-profile events happen. So big ups, Robin, for mentioning that.
Yes, totally agree.
So I'm gonna try to put something up on screen if I can do so. Do you guys see the Turning Point video?
Yep. Well, we see a picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna play this. Hopefully we have audio, and it's not very long. Oh,
yeah, we hear it.
Yeah, it does have audio.
Yep.
All right, I'm not going to play it again. It happens so fast, right? Now, some people are making a big deal about the holding the back of the head and whatever, but what I want to show you is what's coming up next, which is, and I think apparently I need to shut that off because it's going to keep looping. And that is, do you see? Okay, I'm not showing that screen, so let me remove this real quick because this is the conclusion. What happened? What happened?
Sorry, I just watching that video.
And you're like, oh, I'm like, okay, well that was. All right, hold on. Let me get the screen share back real quick. I don't know why I'm having a problem getting the screen share back. Screen share.
Can I just say something really quick?
Yeah.
I realize it might be a full moon and there's a lot of emotion going on, but please, people, be respectful. I will let things go on as long as I can. We can disagree, but just be mindful. I'm not afraid to time you out if you're going to call people names and you're going to consistently say rude statements. So I don't want to do that. We're all here to have a good time and talk true crime. So let's just do that, folks. Let's just do that.
Robin, if I may ask, are some people having their own opinions, getting emotionally charged that they think Erica Kirk is the real deal, and that we're out of bounds, or what?
No, it's mainly about Idaho 4. One was going on and on about the balaclava, and then one was accusing all kinds of people of being rude to her and silencing her, and I don't even know what's going on, people. But
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, and to be fair, let's get back to this. We've moved past Idaho 4, but we can't cover. Trust me, we've been covering Idaho 4 for years. It seems like, and you can't cover everything on Idaho 4 in one night. There's going to be some topics we're going to have to put aside. I did see the balaclava question a whole bunch. I did see the question about Hunter and the blood and the knuckles, and I chose to avoid those for a reason. We'll cover that on a different show, perhaps, but we can only squeeze so much into a show, and I've got other topics I want to make sure we hit. So.
Let's go.
Because again, my channel has 5 different cases. So here we go. This is continuing on with the Erica Kirk thing. Erica Kirk's alleged 6-word remark to J.D. Vance during the viral hug that you just saw amid public scrutiny. Now, listen to this. I'm going to scroll down to the highlighted area. Oh, for frick's sake, tell me I got the highlighted area. Sometimes this thing loses my highlights and then I lose my effing mind. Looks like it lost my highlights. Let me see if I can just find it. The gist of it is, oh, here it is. Here it is. I think it starts right there. As seen in behind the scenes clips that have gone viral, the two also exchanged a few words that were unclear at the time. Now, according to the lip-reading Nicola Hickling, the exchange was preceded by an emotional moment with her assistant about to be unable to, or being able to take the stage as shown in the footage. I can't do this. I don't want to do it, the lip reader revealed, adding that the widow also asked her assistant to give her some time to compose herself before going on. Then Erica eventually took the stage, embraced Vance, the vice president, and repeatedly he told her, "I'm proud of you." Then upon them pulling apart, Erica said it's not going to bring him back, referencing the late husband's demise. Why does it feel like Erica Pawn is a fucking pawn that people are using because they want Turning Point USA to go on? And she's like, I don't want to do this. And they're like, no, you're going to get up there and be a puppet and you're going to say all these things. It just feels like if that's true, if the words are true, that Eric's like, I don't want to do this, but they're forcing her to get up there and make these public opinion things so that they can push their agenda of Turning Point USA is going to go on and we're going to march forward and blah, blah, blah. Is this an answer to why Erica feels unauthentic to some people? Is she literally being played like a puppet by the puppet masters saying, you will get up there and you will do public appearances, even if you think you can't do it. And I'm proud of you for being strong and doing it, even though, and maybe that explains some of the weird behavior. What do you guys think about that?
It's a great question. I think you're onto something there, that she's being pushed to do all this, and God knows how much dirt they have on her. I don't want to say too many mean things because she's got, and her parents are tied with the defense. There's a lot of powerful people at play, but I think she's a great actress, or actually maybe not a great actress, I should say, but she's an actress and she's being pushed. I think you're right in that question there.
Yeah, I think.
So I guess go ahead.
Go ahead, DA.
No, you go ahead. I talk a lot.
One of the things, I don't know, Estes Crime Maze kind of poo-pooed. He gave the thumbs down when I brought up Candace Owens, but
Yes.
She had a very fairly long-term working relationship with Turning Points, and she's been covering a lot of the things that are inconsistencies in the way that they typically do events versus what they did at the Utah event. One of them being that it was booked kind of last minute for a big event, which is they normally have them booked months in advance. But beyond that, she has said repeatedly that all these people are going after her for talking about this. And she said, I'll stop if Charlie's wife asks me to stop. And so she has not yet.
Yeah.
Erica Kirk could easily shut down people digging into it by telling Candace, please don't talk about this. But Estes Crime Maze, tell me why the thumbs down for Candace.
It's very simple, Joe. It's very simple. And you and DA, and I will watch your entire video one day on the CIA cutouts. Candace Owens, in my opinion, is clear as day. She is part of the intelligence community. She comes from Fox News. She is literally probably CIA or working for components of them. And she pumps up Tucker Fucker Carlson. Guys, come on. Tucker Fucker Carlson is literally CIA. His dad was CIA. Dr. Shiva calls him Tucker Fucker Carlson. I call him Tucker Fucker Carlson. And these people, again, they delay truth. They'll give you, they're paid, in my opinion, to lie, deny, and deceive at the expense of American taxpayers often. And we just got to be very careful. She's a beautiful woman. I said that on my TikTok, Adjacent Truth Authority. I said she's vivacious, but I also said, I think she's part of the intelligence community. We've got to be very, very careful with Candace Owens.
It's funny that you mentioned Tucker. He did a show recently for Turning Point, and the open forum thing, and someone asked him a question. It was pretty good, and they went right at him, and he didn't really know how to answer. He wasn't expecting it. Someone brought up his father. Someone brought up his father and the NSA, and you could see it kind of caught him. He didn't really. It kind of caught him off guard because he thought he was just going to really get questions about Epstein or Trump or whatever nonsense. And someone was like, because there's a whole thing about how Tucker was, he wanted to go to the CIA, right? But he failed the drug test or something. There's a whole big.
All I know is he wanted to go in this. Yeah, all I know is he said he wanted to go in the CIA, and these are very important topics. I know we're getting maybe somewhat sidetracked, but you got to expose these people. They're dirty, and they delay truth. There's many instances I could give you guys of Tucker Fucker Carlson delaying truth on many topics, and Dr. Shiva's exposed him. Dr. Shiva had a major lawsuit. He was the first one to discover the censorship, the feds censoring on all platforms, the censorship portal. And he wrote an email to Tucker. He said, you got to cover this. This is a historic lawsuit. Tucker Fucker Carlson was mum. Never emailed back. They wait years later, and they do what with that woman with her book. You guys mentioned her, Whitney Webb, right? Whitney has on the part of the title CIA limited hangout or something on her title. Dr. Shiva was the first one to discuss and research what is the CIA limited hangout technique that they do, right? Very important. And now people are plagiarizing him. But I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant here, but we got to expose these dirty players.
The Tucker Carlson thing, DA and I covered that in our Deep Devils episode about the Mockingbird, Operation Mockingbird. And I'm not in support of Candace Owens. I'm just because I think they're all CIA. I mean, anybody who's ever listened to me knows I think they're all freaking CIA. So, but as far as some of the things, any information we're going to get that's high profile is questionable. Right. I say that right out of the gate. I've always said that. So
that's very fair. And most people don't say that. And I think they should be aware of that and say the same thing and be educated, try to, on these people. Because if you show the crowd the dirty player, the ethical leader will always win. Yeah. And there's a small book I have on that.
And I don't think too many people actually they don't realize, like we were just talking about with Tucker and his what it's not only was his father part, what his job was, but what he actually, his specific job for the NSA was about, you know, pushing a narrative, pushing like certain narratives of, getting the media to push certain things. That's what his whole special skill was. So
he was in charge of one of the biggest disinformation methodology parts of the United States there. Yeah.
Right. So who would be better to train him than his own father? So Tucker is a master at that.
You guys are on the ball, man. I love this live so far.
Yeah.
So I have to ask if my video and my audio is for shit. On my preview, my video is going all over the place. I'm herky jerky. How do you guys hear me fine or not?
I hear you fine.
We hear you fine. You are jerking around a little bit though.
That's not me suddenly getting some kind of disease. I just literally, I don't know what's going on in my video for some reason. Hopefully the video I'm going to play. By the way, you guys are absolutely all completely batshit crazy. If you think that anything happened other than Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk, I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to show. I do it all the time. Dang it!
You love Charlie. You love Charlie Epstein too.
I'm gonna prove to you guys that you guys are all full of shit because everybody knows exactly what happened in this case. Let me see if I can pull this up for you. Hopefully that we get enough bandwidth because I don't know what's going on with my image, but I'm going to try to add this to stage. Do you guys see the video that's kind of spinning with that circle spinning like that?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
We see it.
Put it up a little bit. All right, let's try to go full. Can I go full screen without us on the screen? Where the hell are all my options? I'm losing cohesion. All right, there we are. We're off screen. Let's see if I can play this or not with audio.
I have to ask you about this revelation. Erica Kirk was on Fox News last night and she addressed Jimmy Kimmel's comments about her late husband.
Jimmy Kimmel lied about your husband's murder and didn't really apologize. What would you say to Jimmy Kimmel?
Same thing I told Sinclair. They asked, I haven't really told anybody this, so they asked, do you want Jimmy to give you an apology? Do you want to be on his show? How can we make it right? Through our team, I responded. I said, tell them thank you, we received their note. This is not our issue, not our mess. If you want to say I'm sorry to someone who's grieving, go right ahead. But if that's not in your heart, don't do it. I don't want it. I don't need it.
So that's new information. Sinclair Broadcast Group, which operates
Now
dozens
listen to
of
this.
ABC-affiliated stations across America, they were going to force Jimmy Kimmel to give an apology, but Erica Kirk wanted the apology to be genuine or don't bother at all. Brandon, what have you made of the criticism of Erica Kirk? It has been so vicious and so ugly. I know you were very close with Charlie. I just can't believe how low the left is willing to stoop to attack this woman.
Well, I'll say that you're 100% right, that the left can find no new level of low, but the right has also done it. I am perplexed. I am frustrated. I'm angered at what people are doing in light of Charlie's death. They're shaming Turning Point USA. Some of them are shaming Charlie. Some of them are acting as if Charlie was a different person than he was, and he can't even defend himself. The asinine approach of shaming Erica Kirk and criticizing how she's mourning the death of her husband is insane to me. And people should be ashamed of themselves. The conspiracies that have come out about Charlie Kirk's death. I mean, I want to make this very clear. We know who killed Charlie. We have overwhelming evidence. And wait till the trial comes out and all of these naysayers and people that are judgmental and acting like it was the Jews and all this other stuff, they're going to have to eat crow. They have overwhelming evidence about this guy. We'll find out.
There's more I want to cover on this if I can shut him the hell
Charlie
up.
Very well.
He never shuts up.
But who is that guy? Who is he?
He's just a talking head from He's popular on X and
No
whatnot.
military experience or anything like that. Not that it would make it necessarily, but any better. But he's not in the military. Obviously, they wouldn't do that.
He was a cop.
What I want to bring out
cop.
again is this idea that once
Military
again
wouldn't do
in
that.
America, yeah, he's a cop, yeah. Once again, we all know what happened. The fucking trial hasn't even started yet. We all know what happened in this case. And everyone who says it was something other is all going to have to eat shit. And you should all be ashamed of yourself for questioning the official narrative. We all know it. Why do we even have trials in this country anymore? I wonder. Because this is the kind of shit that comes out all the time. You all should be ashamed of yourselves. We all know what happened before it even started. Utah doesn't want to even defend Tyler Robinson because they said it's a waste of taxpayers' money because we all know what really happened. Does anybody in this fucking country still believe in the presumption of innocence? And does anybody ever believe that it is ever possibly something that what you think it is? Like, this is the shit that makes my head explode. Is this attitude?
DA, their psyop is angering you, and I guess though rightly so. But you know it's TV programming. You know this is all a psyop, dude. Calm down, pipe down.
Well, this guy is a paid shill, like many of the bigger content creators online are. They're paid. They are.
Where did one go?
Yeah, he dropped out and reconnected. I'm trying to get
one.
Oh,
I just
paid
think
shills.
Like all these people that
I'm back.
following online, and when you do a little research, and other people who actually do research dig in a little bit, you find out a lot of these people that get these giant followings, they're either paid by a political party or they're paid by lobbying organizations to push narratives. That's a fact. That's been proven numerous times with large content creators. So what's real quick, and this ties in with the whole narrative bullshit, but when you get these lockstep narratives, right? They're not happening organically. It's not. That's not the way it works. You have people that are being paid to push a certain narrative. Now, whether they work for intelligence agencies or they are contracted by the same people that are contracting, front companies and things like that, and NGOs, they push a narrative. And that guy, I don't like him, but I've seen a lot of his content, and
we would wipe him out in an interview, man. He would never be the same. That guy wouldn't be able to sleep after we tell him the real truth on Charlie Kirk and stop spitting out this nonsense, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, that's why we get the narrative pushing, and like somebody's not innocent until proven guilty, because when the Matrix picks their narrative, everything, it has to be in service of that narrative. Everything.
True. And I just wanted to say what's interesting about Candace Owens. I watched some of her stuff. For her, she said she went on tour with Charlie for 2 years straight, and she's supposedly, good friends with him, and she's showing all these videos backstage of them singing and dancing and all this stuff. She acts like she wants to know, what happened, what's going on, what's the bigger picture, and everything, but she's not critical at all of anything of his wife, like nothing.
That's right.
Which is really,
she'll never talk about Romanian angels or nothing. Yeah. No.
Right.
It's disgusting.
We have a lot of topics. We have a lot of topics. I hope that everybody, took that well. We didn't have the drop off in the number I expected. I think we were at 65 when we started talking about Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk, and we're at 93 now. So we didn't drop off in games. We're okay with the numbers if you care about numbers. This is a great on screen. I have a great transition to my next topic. I hope that they don't release any TV programs or books about the crime before trial. I haven't followed the Kirk stuff too closely, and I'm tired from Coberger. So let's transition to the next topic that I want to cover, because I want to hit all these cases before I close out for the night.
But let me see if DA, can I say something real quick, please?
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Before you transition, I think all of us if you're ever interested, hopefully I could make a positive contribution with you. Why don't we all write a book on Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk? Just a thought. We could discuss it privately, all of us. Just thought.
I'm in.
All right.
Yeah, you find me.
good.
You find me another 20 hours in the week, and maybe I can work on that with you.
Okay.
I can slam the time. All right, let's pull up the transition between the books and the movies. How many books and movies? How many documentaries on Coberger? At least good 5. Same with Luigi Manjone. Luigi Manjone has had at least 5 major pieces, like The Mind of a Monster or The Mind of a Killer or whatever the case may be. Again, prejudicial hit pieces by TMZ, New York Post, all kinds of places have done specials on Luigi Manjone, telling us how we should feel about the guy when, again, his trial, his official trial hasn't started in either the state, the federal case, or the Pennsylvania case. But I wanted to point out in along of that line, because I thought it was funny when you mentioned the book thing, that Luigi Manjone's first book is out. That we have the first author who wrote a book on Luigi. It's called Luigi. I think it's the subtitled Murder, Martyr, or Mirror. It's by The Making of Meaning is the subtitle. So Luigi is the name of the book. The Making and the Meaning by John Richardson. Funnily enough, it just came out. I just saw an article about it. I was going to do a major piece, but I saw it had one review of 1 star, where a female said, "Meh." Man, nothing more than social media recap.
That's a great review.
Now, to be fair, Luigi Manjone does have a lot of females that like him, and you could probably say anything you wanted about Luigi, and if it was negative, it would be meh. Nobody gives a shit. But anyway, I thought it was funny. We don't need to spend a lot of time on that. Rex Heuermann, I think we're going to go ahead and pass, and we're just going to finish up with some Mickey Stein stuff if you guys are okay. Now, if you guys don't have any give a shit about Mickey Steins, of course, you're free to leave, but we'll just finish up a little bit of that. And when we finish the Mickey Stein stuff, we will open it back up to the room for any of the cases that we follow. So if you guys want to hang out for a little bit afterwards, I'm trying to keep these now under 2 hours, and we're at 1:22. I think we can do Mickey Steins in about 20 minutes or so, and then we can leave open questions and answers, and we can close up if you guys are okay with it. And again, anytime you need to drop out, this is an open invite for all of my panelists. Come and go as you wish. It's nice having you up here. Robin, are we missing anything in the chat that I need to address before we get on to Mickey Steins?
Not right at the moment. Just a lot of good discussion going on regarding quite a few of the different cases, actually. So that's really awesome to see.
Nice. Yeah, that's a warm fuzzy in my thing, because I'm not all Idaho 4 all the time. And so it's nice to see that there are some people starting to get interested in some other cases. It doesn't mean that I've given up on Idaho 4. I still cover it quite extensively, and I've had 2 big videos recently about it. And I have more actually in the works behind the scenes. We're not done with digging into that case. But let's talk about Mickey Steins. Mickey Steins is the sheriff, or former sheriff, I should say now, in Kentucky, that shot a judge, Judge Mullins, in his chambers, behind the judge's chambers behind closed doors. This is a still image of it. I don't know if you can see it real terribly well. Mickey Steins is in the upper picture. His daughter behind him, Lila, who at the time was under 18 years old, a minor. Now she's 18 after the shooting, and a couple of years have gone by. We're awaiting the trial of Mickey Steins. It's no question, like the other guy kind of said, in this case, it almost is no question Mickey Steins pulled the trigger. You literally can see him. By the way, as a quick aside about the Charlie Kirk assassination, quick aside, I read the legal documents, and maybe I missed something, but maybe I'm a stickler for the details. The devil's in the details, by the way, is a phrase that I use a lot on my channel. It's one of my catchphrases, the devil's in the details. Here's what they said. We saw the shooter. We saw the person come up the stairs. We saw him jump a railing. We saw him get into the prone position. We heard the shot, and we saw him jump up from the prone position and run away. What they didn't say is they didn't see the shot. They saw the shooter get into the position, and they saw the shooter get out of the position. They literally say they don't see the shot. They said that they observed the guy getting into position. Charlie Kirk was shot, and then they observed him leaving. And maybe I'm stickler for the details, but the point being is that literally they didn't even so much as say they saw the muzzle flash or anything like that. They literally said, we saw a guy get into position, and they left position after Charlie Kirk was shot. it still leaves the question of where did the shot come from? Did it come from the gun that we see on the top of the roof? And maybe I'm just being an asshole for splitting hairs like that. But unlike that situation, in this case, you actually see Mickey Stein's literally holding the gun in his hands. It's not much of a question that's Mickey Stein's, and he shoots the judge in his chambers. Now, what I want to do is I want to talk a couple things about this case, because what happened, and I'm going to show you the video. I'm going to show you the video with blurred out the shooting part. We're going to show the important part that I'm going to focus on, which is what happened just before the shooting. Because Lila Steins, the daughter of Mickey Steins, is coming out busting people's nuts on the internet for talking about her and spreading rumors and gossip. However, here's what basically we need to go to this article. So hold on, let me pull this article up. Stand by. I believe it's this article right here. All right. Do you see it on screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Daughter of ex-Kentucky sheriff charged with killing judge speaks out about the case. Okay. Clayton Stamper, a detective with Kentucky State Police, testified that the sheriff used Mullins's phone to call his daughter before the shooting. This is critical. What happened just before the shooting, as was alleged and verified by a detective, was that what you're going to see in the video, we're going to watch the video. Mickey Steins comes into a room behind the judge's chambers. The judge is meeting with employees of the courthouse. It appears Mickey Steins, and again, there's no audio. It appears that Mickey Steins asks everyone to leave. Everyone leaves the room. Earlier in the day, Mickey Steins and the judge had lunch together, according to official testimony. They had lunch together that day. Mickey Steins walks in. He asks everybody to leave. They leave the room. He sits down. It appears Mickey Steins is a little agitated. He's picking up his phone and he's going through his own phone. He's pressing buttons. He's looking for something. He looks like he places a call, gets no answer. Then he asks, and again, no audio. He'll ask the judge for his phone. The judge, in conversation with him, acts like it's no big deal, pulls out his phone, hands it to Mickey Steins. You have to ask yourself, what the hell's going on right there? What kind of, I would never have the audacity, one to say, can I please see your cell phone? And you're just going to hand it to me. You're not going to do that. I don't care how good of friends we are. Like, hey, can I have your cell phone right now? I want to go through your phone and see what's on your phone. I'll tell you this, no one's looking through my fucking phone. Anyways, the point being is that the judge hands him the phone. No one's looking through my phone. Anyways, so the judge hands him the phone. Mickey Steins goes through the judge's phone. It looks like he places a call, which may have been answered. Mickey Steins stands up, draws his gun, guns down the judge behind the closed doors of his chambers. You have to ask, what just happened there, right? And this is confirmation. Clayton Stamper, the detective of the Kentucky State Police, testified that yes, the Sheriff Steins did use Mullinson's phones to call his daughter before the shooting. That did happen. Now, Lila's trying to tell you there's no relationship between her and the judge. Fine. That's okay. And we had a mainstream media source telling us, and by the way, why am I doing this where you can't even see my face and I can have some kind of reaction on this kind of shit? I'm all doing this blind. Let me put this on screen so I can actually talk to you for a minute before we show this video. All right. So the point being is that Lila told all of us basically, get a real job, quit talking about me and this judge. I had no relationships with the judge. Fine. That's fine. But then when the mainstream media person tells you, you've now heard it from her mouth, there is no connection between her and the judge. So you all need to shut up in America. There's no connection here. I'm sorry. That didn't answer the question for me. I still have questions. Why Mickey Steins asked for the judge's phone, why it's confirmed that he called his daughter from the judge's phone. Why did that happen? And why, after that happened, it enraged or triggered Mickey Steins in some reason to shoot that judge. And fine. If you want to say at the end of the day, there's no connection between the judge and the daughter, that's great. Do we still not deserve a little bit of answers, especially when you know, if you don't follow this case, when you know Mickey Steins was brought in to testify on another case where one of his deputies had sodomized a woman in that judge's chambers, and there was an ongoing allegation that the judge and the deputy and correctional facility officers were letting women off of their ankle monitors on home release in exchange for sexual favors in the judge's chambers. Yep. Some people have said they actually have watched the judge having sex with women in the judge's chambers. So as
disgusting as that is, sorry, D, I shouldn't have interjected there. No, I was going to say, thanks, that as disgusting as that is, I was just thinking this too. I don't think it would, in reason, logic, common sense, maybe people will disagree. I can't see that enraging this normal, joyful guy who is well respected, as you know, in that town. I can't see him enraging him enough to fire bullets in a judge that they've been friends with for so many years. You just had lunch with the guy, but I think it was ongoing in his mind that something insidious has happened, and that very well could be to do with his daughter. That's the only thing I can think of what would enrage him so much to shoot that guy so many times. The judge. I mean, what do you think, guys?
Multiple. I'm gonna answer for me, and then I let my panelists get, as well. Many people stated it was a known thing in that entire county that this was going on, that the police department was using women, were checking them out like library books, were having sex parties with female inmates, giving them deals in order to do this. And so if all of that's happening, you have to wonder, in my mind, did Mickey Stein think, are you doing this to my daughter too? Did my daughter just get wrapped up in this whole sex thing? Because maybe Mickey Steins even knew. There's a part of me that thinks Mickey Steins may have known what was going on. How could he be the sheriff and have his deputy banging somebody in the sheriff's chamber? Sorry for my blunt language. How could he not know that was going on? But let's just give him the possibility that he did know. If he knew that was going on, and now all of a sudden his daughter answers the phone when he calls from the judge's phone, and there's no reason for his daughter and his judge to have a relationship. If his daughter picked up, could you see any scenario in which the man might think, "Are you doing this to my daughter too?" And would that not make a lot of men snap and say, "Fuck that guy! I'm going to smoke you right now"? Like
the obvious thing that I would say right out of the gate, and this is a rhetorical question. But do you think that the daughter might lie and say that she didn't have anything going on with the judge? I mean, that seems like it would be a plausible thing that she's going to say, no, that wasn't really going on, because she's embarrassed about it.
Right. Yeah.
And here's the thing, Joe, this is you're hitting on something. They will tell you, the prosecution and media will tell you, Mickey Steins is mentally unwell and he's paranoid. Mickey Steins thinks that his wife and his daughter's life is in danger, and that his life is in danger, and that is paranoia on his part, and he needs mental health. Is it paranoia because Mickey Steins is in danger? His life is in danger. His kids are in danger. His wife is in danger because he was going to testify in that other case. He was a witness on that other case. So, and there was allegations that he was told to shut his mouth about his testimony. So is it really that Mickey Steins is insane, or is there a reason for his paranoia? Is there a reason why? And some of you don't know this. I showed footage, I think, one other time. Mickey Steins looks terrified and didn't want any of the officers to take him off camera. He wanted every officer to have their body camera on. And he said, "Don't take me behind that closed door. Please don't take me behind. You're going to kill me. You're going to kill me." And they're like, "No, we're not going to kill you." He's like, "Don't do it. Don't take me behind that closed door. You're going to kill me." And they're saying, look at how paranoid he is. Is he paranoid, or does he have a reason to be paranoid? That's the
well, it could be in either, it could be he's paranoid and it could be both. And
I think it's both. It's probably a little of both.
Yeah.
This case is almost as crazy. Sorry. This case is almost as crazy, as the Idaho 4. Almost as wild and crazy, except this one is more tragic, in my opinion. But
now, so real quick, apparently the judge and the sheriff are married to sisters. So that would technically
the judge's wife and the sheriff's wife are sisters.
Yeah. Wow. So the daughter would technically be the judge's niece, right?
Wow, I didn't know that.
How much is that a wrinkle? Holy shit!
Wow, that's
Robin coming out of the booth with research on the nice.
Robin dropping bombs.
Dropping bombs on my
truth
show.
Bombs.
Nice. All right. Well, we're gonna have to dig into that, and you're gonna have to help me get the what they call the receipts on that, so we can cover that and see if there's anything about that. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. All right, I'm gonna play this video. Note that they're gonna freak you out with this whole warning. This contains graphic content. It's not graphic because you don't see the shooting. You see a big, huge pixelated blur out after he pulls his gun. So if you have a really, really active imagination, sure, that would be disturbing in itself. again, I am willing if people want to see the actual shooting. It's not bloody, but it's disturbing. This might be enough because all I really want you to focus on in this video, and I don't think there's even audio on it, but I'm going to play it anyways with the potential for audio. All I really want you to pay attention to is the interaction and just watch what happens with the whole Mickey Stein's coming in, kicking everybody out of the judge's chamber, sitting down, going through his phone, looking for a phone number, making a call, asking for the judge's phone, all of what I just told you, and just put your own thought process on it and see if you see something that I didn't see or if you have the same questions I did. And let's hope it rolls. So there's Mickey Stein's coming in the hallway. All these people are apparently employees, I believe, of the courthouse. Now this may be a little longer video. Why is it frozen? Did it just freeze for you guys?
No. Oh wait.
Oh,
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did.
I don't know why my system is having problems. This is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. Hold on. All right, let me see if I can uncluster focus.
It's pretty amazing to me in the video. There's thankfully that people don't see tons of blood or any blood in the shooting.
No, there's no blood. There's no blood in the shooting, although it is kind of disturbing.
Yeah, very.
When you watch the whole thing. All right, so I'm going to see if it pauses in the same place. Mickey Steins comes in, employees there. And notice the judge doesn't seem concerned at all. Like there is no indication that there's something bad going on. Even Mickey Steins, in my opinion, is very relaxed. Everything looks casual at this point.
He's starting to
I
get
don't know
out.
what he said, but he just pointed he just pointed aggressively, like he said, get out. Like I don't know that he said that, but he pointed pretty aggressively, and all of a sudden everybody's bailing.
Yeah. That shows he's got some authority too, of course, being a sheriff.
Sure. Now, obviously, there was some time dilation. Now Mickey's going through his phone. That allegedly is his daughter, or he was looking for his daughter's contact.
That was the downfall of the judge handing his phone, I believe.
Yeah, and now he asked for the judge's phone. And the judge doesn't seem terribly concerned, in my opinion.
He's enjoying his ciggy.
Why does Mickey Steins know the passcode? Or he's asked, look at that. He either knows the passcode or he just asked the judge for the passcode and he gave it to him because it had a lock screen.
I think the judge knew the gig was up at that point. Whatever's on that phone.
But it changes some stuff if there's a family connection.
Now he makes a phone call. He just placed a phone call. Allegedly, his daughter is the one that he calls, and his daughter picks up, and that's when he loses his shit.
Did mainstream media even ask the daughter that we know of if she answered the phone? Mainstream media?
I do not know that.
I want to say they denied that he called them, but the detective said that he confirmed that they called her.
Ah. Big boy, Mickey.
Now he's pissed off. Now he gets his gun out.
Fuck.
There's words exchanged.
Judge, he should have ran out of that room.
And then an ad pops up, and then the judge was up at that point.
Travel adventures.
There's the pulled gun.
Yeah.
And the judge now knows he's fucked.
He sets right down. Now he's shocked. Frozen.
He locks the door. They're still having words. And he's mad. You can tell he's kind of barking at him.
Yeah. And we never talk about how Mickey knew that he was going to be jailed for this possibly for the rest of his life.
And there it is. So then the shooting happens. We don't need to watch it. If you don't want to watch it, it's not all that important, honestly, the shooting part. I just wanted to get your kind of the reason why it bothers me a little bit is I feel like people, again, mainstream media wants to make this a simple case of, we know who did it. It's clear. It's caught on camera. He's got mental health issues. He's paranoid and he's got some issues. And so it was just a guy whacked out. Stop talking about the judge, whether or not he knew the daughter or anything was going on, because she told you nothing was going on. And let's just ignore the fact that the entire community is saying the cops are doing a scam. They're banging inmates. They're blackmailing female inmates. They're doing all this shit. There was another trial going on. Let's forget all of that shit, which might go up the ladder to the district attorney or somebody, the governor. Who knows how far this is going to go up? How many people knew about this? But they don't want to ask those questions. They want to make this a case of a guy just had paranoia and killed a judge in his chambers. End of story.
Yeah, agree. It's terrible.
What do you guys think about that? Do you feel it's out of line for people to question the daughter when the daughter says there's no connection between me and the judge, when an attorney or detective confirmed that's exactly who Mickey Stein called. He called his daughter and then shot the judge. Do we just let it go because she told us now there's no connection between the two of them?
Well, I mean, it's like I said, I mean, if you're a younger woman and this salacious stuff comes out that we don't know the truth at this point, but no young woman is going to want that information circulating around the world about them. Right. So, I don't know. I mean, we don't know at this point if it really happened or if she was directly involved with the judge or not. But I mean, it wouldn't be unusual for her to lie and say that nothing happened.
Right.
I can't blame her. At all if it happened with her and the judge. That despicable man, the judge.
Fair, and to be fair, I don't blame the daughter, and I do feel sympathy for the fact that her life is going to be under the microscope. However, this case is enormous, and it literally could be. It involves police corruption for sure. Yeah. It involves judicial corruption for sure. And it may go higher than that. It may go to, district attorneys, governors. Who knows how high this goes? Because again, the community said it was a known thing that there was sex going on, that people were.
They had the huge swingers parties, man. So you don't think politicians were involved in some swinger parties? Some of these politicians? I think so. But
probably.
All right. So I think that's it. That's it for Mickey Stein's. I want to give the audience an opportunity for the last 10 minutes or so, since you guys hung in with it. Thank you so much for the 70 so people, the tried and true, the faithful, the outstanding top dogs who were here for the long haul. Of course, I don't know if you're the same 73 that came in at the beginning, but anyways, I'm going to pretend like you are. If you have anything that you want to say in any of the cases, I know damn well you're going to go back to Idaho for, damn it. But if you have anything to say in the cases, let's look for some comments, Robin and I, and see if we can pin something up here and get any last minute questions from anybody that might want to address something.
Well, actually, they're still talking about Mickey Stein. So,
well, that's cool. It seems like a lot of people are reluctant to get involved in the Mickey Stein's case. I think that case is going to be a huge one, honestly.
Well, can I just drop a little nugget that the people in the chat can, comment on if they want? Back to that Dylan Mortensen video. Just looking at the whole video, like, it's so convoluted the way that she prevaricates throughout that whole video, and they're trying to like press her a little bit, but they don't press her very much. And the inconsistencies between what we've all been told and what's in that interview with Dylan it's almost like they were laughing at us all, like with some of the things. Yeah. Someone was kind of going off in the chat earlier about the balaclava thing, and they kind of fed that information to Dylan. About, is it a balaclava? She's like, yeah, we wear them, the officers wear them during raids so people can't see our faces. Like, she kept on sort of prodding her about that, and I guess she drew the picture of it, but there's just a lot of stuff in there. It's a little more,
even the eyebrows too, the eyebrows thing. She didn't even, Dylan every time she does an interview, she lies. But what I will say, kind of on behalf of her, you know, we obviously know, I don't know, I'm going to call them idiot detectives because I really don't know what the hell was going on there. You see the interview and you see what's put in the documents and the transcription of that. Dylan never brought up the eyebrows. It was the detective that brought it up. She never said, "Oh, I saw bushy eyebrows." She didn't bring it up. They put that. They forced that. That was all forced. So they're like, "Oh, do you have bushy eyebrows?" Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he had bushy eyebrows. Like what?
Yeah, my last thing on that video, and then I'll leave it.
Yeah.
If I didn't know anything about that case, and I watched that video, and I knew just the bare basics about the case, I would have said, this person that they're interviewing knows the person that was involved somehow.
Well, I was just gonna ask one. Do you remember the first time that the detective or officer led Dylan to the bushy eyebrow comment? Do you remember the date of that? Was it the first day or was it days later on a second or third interview?
I'd have to go back and check. I believe it was the second interview. I'm not 100% sure though. I'd have to go.
Right.
It wasn't
about the date of that interview.
Yeah, it wasn't it definitely, I'm 99% sure it wasn't the immediate response. It wasn't from the 911 call and that first interview on scene. It wasn't there. It was definitely I think the second interview.
For you internet sleuths, if you guys want to try to do this live real time, can you guys look up using some AI program or whatever, what was the date of Dylan Mortensen's second interview? I want to know the date of that. Somebody probably should get that for us, probably on the fly, I bet.
I think it was the 15th. Of course, it was December 15th, I think.
December. See, that's what I want to know. Was her second?
No, I'm sorry, November. I meant November.
Yeah.
It was November. Okay.
I think it was November 15th.
Sense. It should have been in November. Right?
You are correct, Joe.
Yeah, I think thanks for confirming.
Did Dylan give you any sort of bad actress vibes? I don't think she was a Fed, but just bad, sort of a bad actress.
She seemed like she was doing a lot of avoiding, avoiding a lot. You know how when people are avoiding something, they throw a lot of inconsequential details in there because they're trying to get around what the real question is.
We don't do that, but yeah, I get it.
That's the impression that I got.
We don't do that.
I mean, she even did that on scene from the 911, the immediate response.
It's very weird. Weird.
You have people who are unconscious or dead right now. I need help, but let me tell you what happened at 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, right now it's 12 o'clock. Who cares? What are you telling me? Yeah. Why does the 911 operator want to know anything that happened at 4 o'clock? Like, what's going on right now?
In my opinion, Dylan and Bethany, of course, they know the absolute truth of what transpired in it.
Yeah,
it wasn't what we were told. But.
Yeah, and yet, to this day, certain people are going to kick us in the teeth for saying, "Oh my God, you let Dylan alone. She had nothing to do with it. Let Bethany alone. Fucking, they're these poor kids. Let's raise another $100,000 for them because they had nothing to do with it and whatever." Yeah. And it is what it is.
It's a lot deeper than that.
It's a lot deeper. It's a lot deeper than that. Well, guys, I want to say thank you so much. This has been a great evening. Our best yet, really, for this show. We've been trying to build something. Maybe consistency is the key. I've noticed that we're starting to get some regulars that are coming in and stopping in. So thank you all for supporting the channel and for being here tonight. Thank you for even listening to multiple cases and not having to be just about your one favorite case. So I appreciate all the love. My panel guests, Robin, as always, as a co-producer of my show. Thank you for for all the support that you do and the hard work you do behind the scenes. 1-1 also is a major part of our show in an official capacity, a law enforcement advisor and friend. Joe, I consider you a friend and not necessarily an official partner of the show, but you know what? You and I are going to Moscow, Idaho together. How much does that make you a part of the show? And
That's
Devil's
right.
Due, which is our mashup. Him and I talking about deep things like Project Mockingbird and CIA cutouts and all kinds of deeper topics, major part of the show. And then ST's Crime Maze, who early on, like he was like, hey, we're going to try and get this guy Devil's Advocates to come on with him, but he's ducking me. And now I stopped ducking you, Jason, and you're on my show now. So
thank you. Thank you. And 4 p.m. if you guys want to join me Friday at all, anybody out there that wants to listen to me ranting a little bit about the Idaho 4, I'm going to go live 4 p.m. I think on Friday. I just put that out there. So to your point, DA, just trying to do some lives. Thanks, guys.
Jason, I subscribed to your
long-form
YouTube
videos
channel today.
Pardon?
I subscribed
cool.
to your YouTube channel.
Oh,
today.
thank you very much. Awesome. Great. Good stuff.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Drop by. You get done to ST's
I'll
Crime
be
Maze.
there. I'll be there 4 o'clock on Friday. I'll make sure I'm there.
Now I'm getting nervous. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. And Robin, too. Thank you, dear.
Well, welcome to the pressure, brother. I know what it's like when you start to be like, oh, shit, everybody's going to listen to what I have to say.
Looking right.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good
Bye, everybody.
Nighty night.
Have a good night. Good night.
Good night.